Well, here we are again, folks, all set for another match in this year's 8-ball bar table world championship. We've got about 6 or 7 minutes before this match starts. It's going to start at half past the hour at 12:30 p.m. my time, and it's going to be between Tommyue and Mc Clarky. It's in the one-loss side, and it's a race to 9, but in the meantime there's actually been a few results have come in since our last stream, and what we'll do is we'll have a look and see how the bracket shapes up. So this is a one-loss side. It's a round 8 match on the one-loss side, and you can see it starts at 12:30. But if we look, if we can get this bracket to behave itself again, and we can get over to this side. The last match I streamed, I think it was the last match I streamed, was between Frankel and Bedhead, and that the winner of that match was to decide who was going to be playing semi-pro in the hot seat match, and Frankel came out on top against Bedhead, beat him by 11 racks to 5 and sent him over to the one-loss side. So if we can again move back across here and just work our way from the top to the bottom, we'll see that Fan or Wanwa beat Bav by 9 racks to 3, and if we move down here we can see that Larry was beaten by 9 racks to 7 by Acero. Now, I didn't get to see that match either, but I was told that Larry was up by 4 racks to 0 and eventually lost out 9-7. So Acero is now through to play Fan. Now, he does insist and tell me it's Fan unless he's winding me up, even though it says Wanwa. Here we have the match that is going to be played today, and Tommyue, of course, beat Mr. Bill by 9 racks to 7 to get here. That's a good result for Tommyue. And Mc Clarky won likewise against Snake Eyes by 9 racks to 7. Sorry, tell a lie. Beat Senny by 9 racks to 8 to get through to this match. So that was a close one. And the winner of this match is going to go through to play River City in the next round on the one-loss side, and that'll be it, and that'll be pretty much us up to date. So nothing is likely to happen further over on the winner's side until these matches get taken care of over this side. So there's still a fair bit to go in the tournament, and I checked the watch yet. We've still got about 4 minutes to go. And we can see, I think, Mc Clarky, he's been in for the last hour or so, at least, warming up. Tommyue has been in, although I haven't actually seen him practicing, unless he's been doing that offline. I haven't seen him in a room. So no doubt 2 players will be raring to go. A reminder of the rules before we start. It's no jump queues in the tournament. It's lag for break, and it's alternate break, and I think that pretty much covers it. It's an open table after the break, so whatever balls go down in the break, provided it's not the 8-ball, it still remains an open table until either player has potted the next ball, thereby deeming it they've nominated their ball set that they're going to have to get. And anything else that springs to mind, I'll mention it soon enough. I'm just checking the stream quality. It looks okay. I don't know how many are going to join us, if any. Probably not very many at this time of day. Not that there's that many in the first place. So the tournament room will go up in that tab up the top once the room is up, and that's barely a couple of minutes away now until both, and hopefully both players are awake and ready to go in. Mc Clarky down there in away mode. Tommyue's now here, I presume, ready to go. Oh yeah. Well, you're the only one that's in the chat so far. Good luck. Well, the other bit of news is this is my day off, my first day off of two, which I usually have every week, Wednesday and Thursday. Now, last Thursday, which was my second day off, Thursday afternoon is when I ran out of cigarettes, and I haven't had any cigarettes since last Thursday. So I've gone almost a week without any. So depending on how these two guys actually play this afternoon is probably going to have a big bearing on whether I get driven back to cigarettes or not. We'll soon find out. But it's been a bit of a grind having to resist. So the easiest way to resist smoking cigarettes is a very simple thing. It's called not buying them. That's the simple thing, but actually even avoiding not buying them is a hard thing to do. It is tough. And it's worse after I've had something to eat. After I've had something to eat, I've had my dinner or even a cup of tea, I then get a craving for a cigarette. And it's probably better when I'm at work, because that way you're not going to smoke while you're actually working, and you only smoke during your tea break. And that's when I smoke a lot less, obviously. But when I'm at home in these 2 days off, I would certainly go through them. Well, room is now up. One player is in. Enough of my jibber jabber. Let's get in, and here's hoping both players are clear. One player in the room. They will lag off for break. And again, I don't know what queue these guys have. I can't remember. A reminder as well that once the room is up, Tommyue and both players get an alert and he's in the room, so we're about to lag off. Both queues have downloaded, and I don't know who's who. So it's a race to 9. That one on the left's a bit heavy. So Tommyue has won the lag, and he's going to break off. And a couple of balls have gone in. Good afternoon, Bill. Now, time to study the table. We've lost 4 balls in the break. And Tommyue's made the choice. He's going for the solids. Now, he could have done with a better outcome than that, because he's landed on nothing. Could play the safety off the one ball and just drop in behind it. Well, maybe a bit early to be taking on this combo. But he got the second prize, played it in such a weight that the cue ball was going to finish somewhere in behind those two stripes, but he may well find himself in trouble himself. Good afternoon, Bav. Welcome aboard. Tommyue calling another shot, calling the bank on the two. Now, one ball isn't a problem, especially if he plays it from where he is right now, because he's dead straight on this four ball, and he's tried to stun across for the three. Well, he's finished not bad. Now he has to, if anything, he wants to get good on this one ball right now if he can, and leave the 7 ball to get on the 8 ball. Well, he's going the other way about it, and he's got a slight angle in this 7, and he's got to play this dead weight to hold, to leave an angle to pot the 1. Well, that's a risk he's taken. Nudged in behind the 12. He's on the 1, but can he avoid the pink? I don't think he can. He's going to have to get lucky here to get on this 8. Well, that needed to spin a bit more down the table. So here's a pressure shot for Tommyue. Probably better taken into the right hand corner pocket, because he's going to tuck up in behind those 2 balls in the top left. He'll end up in trouble anyway if he misses the 8 ball. No doubt about that. But I don't think he'll scratch off this left hand side. If he plays it off the right hand side, he would most likely scratch. But in it goes. So a good positive start for Tommyue, and he wins the first rack. The break now goes to Mc Clarky. And there's a ball has gone down, and this is the scenario that happens. Well, it happens at any time in the match, but early on in the match, this is the scenario where Tommyue has effectively broke, and he's won his first rack, and now the break goes to his opponent, who's got a ball in the break and immediately under pressure to try and force a run out to stay with Tommy, because it's a short race to 9, and it's going to be make or break on these breaks or unforced errors, but more likely to be the break. No problem in potting a 5 ball in the top rail, but it's too straight to make it good to get on another ball, so he's chosen to take the stripes. And these stripes, they're not too bad. If you can see that 15 ball, that would be ideal, that brown stripe, because then he can take the 9 and get rid of that ball at the top end of the table. And he now doesn't need to work at the top end of the table after this shot. And now he's got to be careful, because this 11 ball's fine. He needs to not run through too far. And that is perfect, because he can now just stun onto the side rail. He needs to come out a bit though, and that is pretty nigh perfect. A little trickle through, and he'll have a straight in 8 ball into the middle pocket. Oh, he's made a harse of that, has he? Oh dear, what's going on here? Let's have a look. Yeah, needed to make sure he run through far enough. If you run through too far, you've still got a shot. And this could be a crucial mistake early on in the match. So it's going to be a called kick bank on the 8 ball into this middle pocket nearest us. Always very difficult to get that right. So the mistake has been made, and Tommyue has a great chance to open the gap immediately. It's more than likely the 8 ball's going down past the 2 ball, so the 2 ball obviously has to get taken care of. One ball should be next, then the 2, then the 5, and then the 4. In that order, because if he plays the 2 and leaves the angle, he can get the angle off the 5 to come off the rail and back up with the 4. Or he can go with the 4 down to the 5, but it's a lot simpler and easier getting the angle on the 5. Now that is a mistake because he played for the 2 and he's blocked himself out on the 2, so it now needs a good shot here, and he's out of shape, and this 6 ball is not easy. And the other problem with that is the cue ball's going over to the left hand side. Now he could block himself off in any shot with this shot here if he doesn't get it right. Good afternoon, Whiz Kid. Well, he's got the shot in the 4, but now the 2 ball has become a problem, and there's even more emphasis on leaving an angle on this 5. Now you've got to take your medicine here. Well, he's decided to go for the 2 first, and well, it can all work out fine in the end, but I would have went for the 5 first, because now he's got a high angle on this 5, and this is not easy to guarantee good position on this 8 ball. He's got to let the cue ball run, and you know what happens when you let the cue ball run. Problems can happen. Well, he needs to get a close look at that, because that black ball is hidden by the background of that pocket. Now you need to be sure about the point in that jaw. Plenty of room to get it in. And in it goes. So it's 2-0 to Tommyue. And well, Mc Clarky made the mistake, didn't go through far enough for position on that 2 ball and blocked himself out, and the break has gone back to Tommyue, and he's scratching the break. So here is Mc Clarky's chance, and there's pressure on this. These balls are all pretty good. The solids, we've got 3 of them in the bottom left hand corner of the screen here. We've got the 4 ball, the 2 and the 5. The 2 and the 5 are a combo. It can certainly be easily made, but of course on the scratch it's ball in hand in the kitchen, and there's the kitchen rule, so he has to play up the table, I believe. But looks as if he's just taking his time and studying what's what here. Well, of course the other problem is, if you look at he looks as if he's probably taking the 6, because we've got a 1 ball blocking this bottom right hand corner pocket, and well, it's never good to miss a ball with ball in hand. So another unforced error, and that could be severely punished, and Tommyue has to take chances like this. You have to punish your opponent. So it's the solids, and you may well keep that one ball there as a security blanket just to block off that 10 ball for the time being, and it can also be used as an emergency escape route if you can get to it. Now, I don't know whether they can avoid the 8 ball. No, he couldn't, just brushed it, but he still got a shot in the 7, or even that 6 if he can cut it. Now if he can find a gap between the 8 ball and that 14 ball, well, he's going to go too far, but he's still got to find that gap here. Much better to play this 2-5 combo right now after the 7 than having to take the 1. And now he's got a very good line onto the 2-5. And it doesn't need to be hard, it just needs to be gentle to push this 5 into the pocket and not let that 2 ball run away. Now that would have been ideal if he dropped right behind the 2, because he could have taken that 2 into the top corner. He could still do it, but there's a bit more pressure on it because it's offline. Where's the cue ball going?
Oh dear, outside, never mind.
Well, all of a sudden it's all gone wrong. And it's always the case. Billiard games and pool games are all simple games. And they're simple from the point of view that the less you have to move that cue ball, the less travelling the cue ball has to do to get onto the next shot, the less likely that cue ball's going to end up in somewhere awkward, i.e. a pocket, or stuck in behind another ball. And this is why good pace control in the cue ball is vitally important in every billiard game you're ever going to play. So that's an unforced error and a gift of a chance for Mc Clarky, and he really has to put this away. An unexpected gift. And this is still got to be done though. This 11 is a little bit straight, and he's leaving it awkward on the 9, and he's leaving that far too awkward. Needs to get this right to get on that 8 ball. And avoided the collision in the 8 ball and left it on into the left middle. So it's going to be 2-1, but it should have been 3-0. That's the way it goes though. Oh, now that is an awful shot.
What is that? What the fuck is that?
Well, that's a bad miss. Feeling the pressure. Cue ball's going to be running again though, but it's a cut that you cannot be refused. You just got to go for it. And that'll finish nice. Now, how is that 8 ball? Is that right on the point? Let's have a look closely at this. Again, because it's a black pocket and a black ball, it's difficult just to make sure you're 100% on it. But in it goes. And that is most certainly a big turning point already in the match. It should have been most certainly 2-1, but it's a bad miss in the 8 ball. And that's a heavy price to pay. And it's 3-0. And again, I said this in a previous match. You don't want to get desperate early on. Now you're 3-0 down. This game can change in a heartbeat with the break of the balls, the run of the balls. But you've got to play your part in it though. You cannot be gifting people racks. And if ever a player needed a reason to focus, 3-0 down and a race to 9 is a reason to focus. So Mc Clarky needs to cut out these errors. So Tommyue has made his choice. He's on the stripes, trying to nudge that 11 ball. Didn't quite get there. It's now locked up with the 8. And I'm just looking to see where the other opportunity would be to try and split them, and the chances now off this 13 ball, if he can get into the cue ball enough, and he needs to dig into it to actually hit that 8 ball in the 11 to break them out. The angle's there to do it. Now, how's his luck though? Well, he has a cut in the 15, and he also, if he gets a draw into it, can draw off the 1 ball and hold for the 11. And that's worked out perfect. But now he's got to be careful here, because the tendency is you want to come off this 11 ball to come this direction, and if you get it wrong you can easily scratch. But you've got to be brave enough to go for it and get the cue ball at least down this bottom end of the table. You have to go 100% with the shot, unless he wants to try and finish over here and leave some sort of far-fetched cut down the side. But this is not a perfect angle, and that was the danger. The danger was a scratch. And now he's got a little fiddly cut in this 8 ball, and overcutting it would be fine because it's a big enough pocket for the 8 ball to go in. Plenty of room. Just overcut it to the right jaw, it'd be in, no bother. Well, it's there. And more importantly now, it's a big 4-rack lead for Tommyue. And Tommyue breaking off in rack number 5. And we've lost the 8 ball. And the 8 ball, of course, will be respotted. Now is Tommyue just studying the table? Oh, right, there the 8 balls finally appeared. So he's still got a visit at the table and chosen the 2 ball, so he's on the solids. Now, if he pots the 1, he can certainly run into the 6 and the 9. And once again, that's ended up perfect. The 9 balls went running. It hasn't affected where the 5 ball is. 5 ball into the middle. He's got the 2 solids here. 4 ball in the open. 7 ball in the open. And even if Mc Clarky gets to the table, he's got 2 of his solid balls in the right hand rail tied up. Now that's gone wrong. Needs to dig down into this 7 ball to get back up to the left hand side for the 3, and didn't get a hold of the cue ball. Well, he finished on the 4. I think he might have played for the 3, I don't know, but either or, there's just a glimmer of a chance here for Mc Clarky. And he's got the split on the problem balls, but he's finished straight on this 12. Managed to squeeze a wee angle there. But he's got to take this out. No ifs or buts or maybes. He just simply has to get this rack on the board. And that might help him settle down a wee bit as well. And that 15 ball is awkward. It's just now in an awkward place because the 4 ball is the blocker, the 9 ball is the blocker here, and the 15 ball is doing nothing there. So he's going to have to try and take a risk and get in between the 4 and the 15. He could do it off this ball here. He's tried to get there, but he hasn't got into it enough. And now he's left the bank. Oh, this simply has to go. In it goes, and he didn't call it. Okay, you could say it was an obvious bank, and at the pace that he played it, he was only ever playing it into that one pocket. And finally, Mc Clarky gets himself off the mark. And he also is breaking in rack number 6. And this is a dry break. 8 ball up in the top left hand end of the table. Now how easy is it to get to pot that 8 ball? Well, I don't think it's all that easy to actually get the potting angle without nudging it into that jaw. And we'll find out. So Tommyue on the stripes, and one of his stripes, the pink 12 ball, up behind the 2 and the 6 ball on the top right hand side of the table. And from where he is right now, he's got no way of breaking that out. Now he's got a chance off the 10 ball to actually nudge something here. Well, that's improved the situation slightly. I don't know whether he can get to the cutting angle on that. I think he can squeeze it round the 6. Yes, he can. Now, this shot in the 11, there's no way he can get to the 8 ball. He just needs to make sure he's not going to block himself off and not have a shot on it at all. So he's used all of the pocket. Now he's going to try and double kiss this 8 ball in. Yeah, that's what he tried. And it's finished not too bad at all. He's blocking the pocket, but however, he's going to be in trouble. But the thing about Mc Clarky, when he comes to play this safety, he needs to be careful he just doesn't leave a simple kick bank up and down on that 8 ball. Now, the odds are he's going to try and snooker Tommyue behind these 2 balls. Well, that's what he's done. Now, the only thing here is I think the 4 ball is in the way of a straight up and down kick in on this 8 ball. Now he's looking to pick a point on the side rail, go around 1, 2, 3. In fact, no. Just decided on trying to get a safety, a deliberate foul. And that's actually not a bad idea. The thing about the ball in hand though is if he wants to be aggressive here, Mc Clarky needs to play the 5-6 combo from ball in hand. Now, is he actually paying attention? I don't know whether he is. Well, that's just, I mean, that's not changed the situation, because Tommyue doesn't have to do anything other than just play another deliberate foul. And the rail hasn't been hit, and that's a disaster. I never even noticed that. Oh, that's all gone pear-shaped there for Mc Clarky. Trying to get delicate. Well, I still say he should have went with ball in hand and played the combo to open up the game and be aggressive and try and win it. And in the end, he's ended up giving it up. And it's now 5 racks to 1. And Mc Clarky needs to screw his head on here pretty sharpish, because what we've seen so far has been way too sloppy. And he needs to give himself a shakedown and get himself into this game. So 5 racks to 1, Tommyue leads. And he's on the stripes. And no stripes are tied up here. Again, it's a good rack to win this. But this is where it can go wrong. Again, cutting the 15 ball when he has the opportunity. He's going to run into the 8. And he doesn't know 100% where the cue ball is going to finish up. He's more than likely going to be on the 11 ball, but he needs to make sure he can see it. A little soft draw off this 15 would do. And he's hung it up. So Mc Clarky's got 1 ball down this end of the table, which is a 6. And he would probably want to be taking that to get on the 8 if he gets that far. Looking for the split there. That didn't work out. And those 2 balls, they are not set as any type of combo. And even in this situation, Mc Clarky's under pressure to try and get this safe. Oh, that's worked out perfect. That was a great shot. Had to get it. And he needs to get good on this 7 ball. This is the worry, this 7 ball. And he's got a chance to get on it off the 2. He can come down this right hand side here. He can come down here. He needs to get there. He's under hit it again. Well, he's not bad. But if you look at how close that is to the rail, you've got no margin of error. You need to keep it hugging to the rail and make sure you get the cue ball out. And when I say get the cue ball out, I mean get it a lot further to the left than that. So now he's got to be careful. Where's the cue ball going?
Oh dear, outside, never mind.
Now that all came about because he left the cue ball there rather than there. If you have the cue ball where the donut is, you've got no problem with the scratch. You could just go round the corner and down for the 8 ball. And another gift here for Tommyue. And already Mc Clarky is rapidly running out of racks here. And too many unforced errors have cost them already. And it's 6 racks to 1. And the break goes back to Mc Clarky in rack number 8. And he's scratching the break as well.
What is that? What the fuck is that?
Well, it's going from bad to worse. We've got ball in hand in the kitchen for Tommyue. Now, I think now that 3 ball is out the kitchen, although it's over the line, it's not. There's more of the ball out the kitchen and in the kitchen, so it looks legal to me. So it's the solids. And once again, these solids are pretty pretty good. He's pot the 1 down the rail. He can pot the 7 from there, but the 1 ball's there. The 1 ball, there's something that worries me about the way these balls are set here for a run out, because if he plays this pattern from the 2 ball and then takes the 1, it's going to be difficult to get on either of these 2 balls down here, this 5 and 4. Now, this is where it's got to be. It's got to be a good positional shot, because there's only 1 ball that pots there, and that's the 4. And he's finished pretty nice straight. And now he can't block himself off with the 13. And he's got too much angle in this 4. He's got to find a gap. He's got to pocket dead weight. And I don't know whether he can avoid blocking himself off with the 13. Well, he's nudged into it. And that's ended up a good shot. And he can just baby the 4 in and leave the cut in the 8. And it's going to be 7-1. Well, it's all fallen into place for Tommyue. He's been gifted a fair few racks, but whatever other chances he's had, he's stuck them away. Oh, and this time it's Tommyue that breaks and scratches. And look at the table that's left. Now, this is why this game is so frustrating. You're 7-1 down. Your opponent breaks off and scratches, and you're then left with a table like this, where your chances of running out are fairly slim unless you start moving stuff very early on. And Mc Clarky's tried to improve the situation, and it's not really helped a great deal. He's got an awful lot of work here to do. But cannot afford these unforced errors. Has to keep it tight. And of course, he's now on the stripes, and I'm just looking to see whether he could draw off the 10 and pot the 3 and open the pocket. But if he does that, he's going to leave a free shot here for Tommyue in the 5 ball. But he certainly wants to get rid of that blocking ball. Well, that's changed the situation, because the 5 is now blocked off by the 9. And the ball is now in Tommyue's court. He's going to have to work for this one. Well, you could call the bank on the 2 ball. I don't think there'd be a great deal of harm in doing it. Well, he's playing a billiard onto the 13 ball to billiard the 13 onto the 3. Oh, that's excellent. He actually spun the cue ball through to nudge the 3 in. I don't know whether he played that exactly that way, but it doesn't matter. It's gone into the pocket. He's got a difficult shot on this 2 ball. These are so difficult. You basically just pick an angle and pick a point and you hit it and you hope it goes in. Because you're not looking at the pocket at all. You're looking at it this way, and then once you've looked at it and picked your point, away you go and play your shot. And he might nudge that point of the jaw as well, which would take him away from the 1. Well, in the end, he's decided he's going to play the safety instead. Now, don't forget, Tommyue has that 5 ball locked up there at the top end of the table. And Mc Clarky, well, there's a big risk he's taken. He's taken an aggressive shot. He's split up the straight balls. That's freed up the 5 ball. And he's forced into going for the run out. But we've got a problem here. And he's dealt with it. Is he on a ball? He's not ideal. And he needs to watch this cue ball again on this 13 into a blind pocket. And that needs to keep going. And he hasn't gone far enough to get rid of that 14. So his last chance is to get on this 14 off the 15. Whatever you do, don't block yourself out with the 8. Well, he's got there. All about judging the pace now, just to get the cue ball halfway up the table, leave a shot into the middle, or he can leave it long, whatever he's comfortable with. Well, he's gone too far. He's now leaving it long the other way, and the worst about it, he's hampered by the 5, I think. No, I think he's okay. Well, he wants to be digging down. Well, in it goes. And it's 1 rack back. Still trailing by 5, but he has the break in rack number 10. Well, a ball has gone in. A couple of balls have gone into that right middle pocket. And these balls are sitting good. I don't think it matters what one he commits himself to here. They're both a good set of balls to be running the table with, so they are. Well, he's given it a fair bit of thought, which is probably worthwhile doing. Has to be sure what his next move is going to be before he commits himself, because he doesn't have much to play with here. But it is going to be the solids. Now if he's dropped onto that 1, that would be ideal. Well, he has. He's on it, and I think he wants to get rid of that. Now he's got the chance. This is what I say about now, the 1 ball theoretically is a problem ball, just where it's situated behind the 14. So the fact that he landed on it good was the best opportunity you'll ever get to get rid of it, and he's taken that out. He's still got the other problem of the 8 ball being blocked off by the 13 down at this end, so and he has no other choice. He only has that 5 and the 4 and the 6 at that end, and now he's got no shot. He's out of line, and it's a combo that is nowhere near set in anybody's language. That is way off the mark. I thought he'd called a combo. That's a great shot. He called the 6 ball and nudged it in off the 10. Excellent. I wasn't paying attention there. Well, that's a cracking shot. But needs another good shot here as well, because look at where he is in the 4 and look where the 8 is. Sent the cue ball running. Now, can Tommyue pot that 11? I think he can, and if he does, that's the one main obstacle out of the way. Well, now Mc Clarky can only hope that Tommyue makes a mistake here. Well, now's the time to get rid of the 13. He's got to be on the 10 ball anyway, at worst, off this shot. Well, he's taking a 14 instead. Well, now this is a little bit more angle than the last option he had of getting rid of it. And for that reason he's now out of line. Well, he's still got a shot in this 15 ball. It's not a gimme. But in it goes. It's going to be a long 8 ball from the left hand side. That's where the cue ball's wanting to run. Oh, that wiped its feet. But nevertheless, this 8 ball will take Tommyue to within 1 rack of victory. It's now 8 racks to 2, and Tommyue breaking off in rack number 11. And the ball's gone in. And again, these balls are perfect. I mean, this is just an open invitation to run out. Well, Tommyue's decided on the stripes. Now, when you look at the way the balls are, the problem ball is the pink stripe on the right hand middle pocket. Because now the 2 balls are blocker for it. And it is such a tight angle into that middle pocket. That could be the problem that Tommyue is going to have to deal with sooner rather than later. Well, now he's going to have to drop it in dead weight. It's very tight. But this is going to probably decide the outcome of this. Well, that's the mistake. Well, there's a lifeline for Mc Clarky. And this is just a must rack, a must run out. This is his one and only last chance in this rack to stay in the match. And he's gone straight on the 2 ball and has to deal with that 6 ball. That is going to be the issue, and he's on it now, and now's the time to get rid of it. And this is a test of your nerve, getting on that 7 ball. Now, you've got to go forward, really. You can't really come back. If you draw back, you're going to get into the 8 ball. If he goes forward, he's going to go around the angles and come up here. He needs to get there, though. He's leaving it way short. Well, this effectively to stay in the tournament. And in it goes. Held his nerve very well indeed. And that 12 ball, the pink 12, was always going to be the issue with that run out. It was awkward to get good on it to leave a half decent pot into that middle pocket, very tight. And Tommyue left it hanging, and Mc Clarky took his chance. So it's back to 8-3. Dry break. But when you're playing in a bar table situation and you're an alternate break, you really are swimming against the tide when you're 8 racks to 3 down in a race to 9. It's asking an awful lot for Mc Clarky to get himself back into this match. I mean, he's relying on a lot of things, a lot of help from Tommyue, a lot of help from the run of the ball, and also pretty much flawless from here on in from Mc Clarky is all that will do him, because one mistake will cost him the match. And look at all these stripes of Tommyue's all down at this bottom end of the table here. Well, he's going to have to take the 10 ball now. He may well have played for the 13, but he's actually ideal on the 10, just to tuck it along the rail. Now, well, it's too tight to take the 11 ball, and it's not easy to get a shot in the 11. He's going to have to play it from distance. I don't know whether he can avoid it. It's very awkward, this shot, to avoid anything, and at the same time try and get the cue ball out for a shot in the 11. So that's why he's having to take the 9 instead and get rid of it. Well, that's not a great deal better, but it's difficult to say whether he can get around the corner now. Well, he's tried to hold it for the left-hand corner, and this is far too tight to pot that, surely. But he's going to try and do the next best thing and get it nearer over the corner pocket, but it looks far too thin a cut. Oh, it's going in off the 4. Well, that's a bonus. And this match is over. Just this 8 ball to seal the deal and take Tommyue through to the next round. Well, in the end, it's a comfortable win for Tommyue by 9 racks to 3, but it has to be said, Mc Clarky played a big part in his own downfall there, particularly early on, and the gap was too wide, and Tommyue wins it 9-3. So let's have a quick look at the bracket and see how that shapes up. Well, it's already updated. Tommyue is through to play River City in the next round. We've got no more matches scheduled, but as I say, it's unlikely there's going to be any matches scheduled on the winner's side for a little while yet, until matches have caught up here on the one-loss side. So that's one fixture that is now set. And if we look at this top end here, we've got Bedhead waiting, and he's waiting on the outcome of the match between Acero and Fan or Wanwa. So that's the next match that's probably going to be scheduled at some point. And until then, folks, thanks for your company, and we will try and get you the next match as soon as. And until then, we will see you again soon.